class, I'm going to tell you about education, about how important it is to me, and a little bit about where I've come from as far as the highs and lows of it, and why it's good to be positive in everything that you do in life, and to try to get back up and try again and succeed, and most importantly, to have God on your side and to keep focusing on Him, and your life does get better. Even when you're at your worst, you can get back up and try again. So I'm going to tell you about when I was 16 years old. I was living in a small town at that time with my mom and my stepdad, and my mom had just had two babies. She had my brother and sister, and that was a very, very big shock for me because I wasn't used to having siblings for most of my life. So that was not a pleasant time for me at that moment. I can tell you they're a blessing now, but back then I did not want any brother or sister. So basically we had moved to a smaller town. I was used to a suburban area. I was like night and day, or oil is in water, as you might say. So I didn't really get along with the people. I didn't like the area that we lived in. I was going through transitions with parents because my mom had just got married to this man a few years before. So it was a huge transition point in my life. I was really at an ultimate low in my life because I didn't know what to do or what to expect or how to change it, really. And so at that time, I ended up working a lot. While working, I met lots of really, really great people, but I also met some really bad people too. And I started drinking a lot and working a lot and skipping school and drinking more and skipping school and arguing a lot with my mom. And I ended up dropping out of school. I ended up moving out of my mom's house and moving in with my grandma for a short time. And then I just took off on my own, and I worked and didn't go to school, and I didn't care about anything or anybody or anyone at that point in time, just myself and my needs and my wants. And I did this for a period of 2 years. I pretty much would work full time, and I would drink from the time I got off till the time I went back to work. And I would drive my car and drink with friends all hours, but I always managed to pay my bills. It's just that I drank all the time. I was very disrespectful and rude, and I could have cared less about going to school or doing anything good with my life. Then I turned 18. That's when the chapter began. Because 2 months after my 18th birthday, I found out I was pregnant. So I immediately got married. Big mistake. Biggest mistake was to get married. Not always is marriage a mistake, don't get me wrong, but that was a big mistake for me because that didn't work out in the end. However, in the beginning portion of it, it was good because it was a turning point for me. I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I kept going to work, and I changed my eating habits, and I ended up having a 10.5-pound baby boy. 10.5 pounds. Very, very, very healthy. I was like a 100-pound twig that ended up having this monstrous baby. I mean, monstrous baby, okay? And about that time, I was starting to get interested in school. So I thought, I was really, really stupid for thinking about quitting school, and I really wouldn't want my kids to do this. So I started taking night classes at State Fair Community College. And guess what? That was my turning point. I was starting to turn my life around, not just for myself, but for my son. And things just progressively got better. I ended up getting pregnant again, having my second son, Brandon. And I still wanted more. Like, everything that I was going through and everything was going good, but I still wanted more. I felt like I wasn't completely complete. I don't know if I could say that anymore. So Some of that I thought was education. I needed to get back into school more. So I started going to college. Then I finally started my first semester and started easing back into things. But it was really, really hard because I had been out of school for so long. I didn't even get to learn algebra because I had quit school so early and didn't care for so long. So it was really, really hard for me to take those steps to keep going and pushing myself. There was a time where I had to stop because I had to work more. And then I ended up getting a divorce. And then I ended up getting married again. And I had a nice little baby girl. And that was when my focus started to change. I still had this drive and determination to do really well and succeed. So I wanted to go back to school. And then I also started focusing more on church and getting God in my life. And things slowly started turning around for me. And now I can say that, with each step, my life has gotten better. I started out working in McDonald's. I'm now working as a purchasing coordinator for Wire Rope Company. I ended up at $4.25 an hour in the beginning, and now I'm over $20 an hour, So, things have progressively over time gotten better with each step. I got focused on school, and I'm still focused on school. I work full time. I raise 3 kids. I volunteer at the food pantry. I am trying to run for a position at city council in our little town that we're going for. I am constantly trying to better not just my life, but my kids' life. And school is a high priority because I want all of my kids to go to school. And that was one of my things, was I want to be able to finish school and graduate by the time my son graduates high school. And he has 2 more years. Guess what? I have 2 more years. So that is what I'm basically wanting to tell you all, is that you can really hit rock bottom in your life, and you can keep getting up and climbing up that mountain, and you'll eventually make it. And the thing is just to keep climbing it and getting back up and keep trying, because even though I didn't know that algebra doesn't mean that I'm not going to know it. It means that I just have to try a little harder, and I have to keep doing it until I get it. And everything else comes easy to me. Sometimes things like that might get in the way for just a minute, but I can get through it. So that's what I'm trying to say, is I've went through some really, really, really lows in my life to really, really highs in my life, and anybody can do that. You just have to be able to have that drive and determination, and you have to have God in your life, and you also just have to keep telling yourself that you're a good person, that you can do anything, and I can do anything through God. So that is one of the things that I wanted to talk about, how you can come from nothing and you can get somewhere. I'm not all the way there yet, but I promise you one thing, I have that drive and determination, and I will get there. So that's what I wanted to talk to you all about tonight. Hope everybody has a good speech, and look forward to talking to or speaking to everyone again. Thanks.